Ever seen a cat that refuses to give up even when the world tells him it's over? This is the story of Charlie, a stray cat who sat at the same door every single day, waiting for someone who was never coming back. Charlie wasn't just any cat. He was the kind of cat that made you believe in soulmates. Abandoned on the streets, he found his one friend, a little boy named Timmy. They met by accident on a rainy Tuesday when Charlie snuck into Timmy's porch seeking shelter. What started as an innocent encounter grew into something unbreakable, but fate had other plans, and Charlie was about to find out what it really means to lose someone. Timmy loved Charlie like no other. Every day after school, the boy would run to the porch, calling for his furry friend. It was their sacred ritual. Timmy would sneak out treats, and Charlie would reward him with playful swipes and purring fits. It was as if the stray knew this boy was his lifeline, the only person who saw him as more than just a scruffy, unwanted cat. But one day, Timmy didn't show up. Charlie waited. An hour turned into 2. The sun dipped below the horizon, and the porch light clicked off. Yet Charlie stayed. He circled the porch, meowing, hoping for a familiar face to appear from behind the front door. But the door never opened. Days turned into weeks. Timmy was gone, and nobody knew why. The neighbors started noticing. "That cat is still there," Mrs. Morgan muttered to herself from across the street. Even when it rained, even when the porch was covered in snow, Charlie sat there, looking toward the door, waiting. Every time a car pulled into the driveway, Charlie's ears would perk up, and his little heart would race. But it was never Timmy. People tried shooing Charlie away. They left food for him farther down the street, hoping he'd give up and find somewhere else to go. But he wouldn't, because deep down, Charlie believed, no, he knew, that Timmy was coming back. Months passed. The seasons changed. Charlie's once fluffy fur grew matted. His paws cracked from the cold. But that little cat? He didn't care. He had a mission, to be right there when Timmy returned. One freezing night, the boy's family returned. But it wasn't the reunion Charlie had imagined. The car rolled into the driveway, and Charlie jumped to his feet, meowing louder than ever. His heart pounded in his chest. This was it, the moment he'd been waiting for. Timmy was finally home. The car door opened, but instead of the boy's familiar giggle, there was only silence. Timmy's parents stepped out, their faces heavy with grief. Mrs. Morgan, who'd been watching from her window, whispered to herself, "Poor thing, he still doesn't know." And that's when it hit. Timmy wasn't coming back. Ever. The family had been away, burying their son. A tragic accident had stolen the little boy's life, leaving only heartache behind. But no one had told Charlie. No one knew how to explain death to a cat who still believed in hope. Charlie never understood what happened, but even after that night, he didn't stop waiting. He returned to the porch every single day, for months, for years, always hopeful, always patient. Over time, the neighborhood changed, but one thing stayed the same: the little cat on the porch, staring at the door, waiting for his best friend. People began calling him the loyal cat. They left blankets and food, but no amount of kindness could replace the boy Charlie had lost. Some say animals don't feel the way humans do, but those who saw Charlie sitting on that porch knew better. He wasn't just waiting for a friend, he was waiting for a piece of his heart that would never come back. Stories like Charlie's remind us that love has no limits, even across time and loss. If this story moved you and you believe animals feel just as deeply as we do, hit that subscribe button. Join us for more stories that celebrate the unbreakable bonds between people and their pets.